Welcome back to Short Movie Channel. Today, we have an amazing new movie recap for you. Let's get started. Our movie today begins with a young woman named Darcy, who seems to have the worst luck. Just one day before her wedding, her friends are gathered together when her mother pulls her aside for a private conversation. She doesn't look pleased and says, "What a terrible and poor groom you've chosen." In the middle of their conversation, the groom's mother walks in, beaming with joy and dancing as she approaches Darcy. She then hands her a gift, a cake-cutting knife. However, the knife is old and used because the groom's mother had used it at her own wedding 30 years ago. Carol then asks, "Do you like the gift?" Darcy replies, "Yes, it's very beautiful. But I just hope we don't get sick from it." After a little while, Roberto, the bride's father, arrives. He walks in and greets the groom's mother. By the way, the one filming is Caro's husband, meaning he's the groom's father. He greets everyone, and then Roberto, the bride's father, shakes hands with Renata, the bride's mother, since they've been divorced for a long time and haven't seen each other in years. He also brings along his fiancée. Finally, Tom, the groom, arrives. He notices his father and walks up to greet him, giving him a kiss on his bald head. After a little while, they hear the sound of a helicopter. It turns out to be Sean, Darcy's ex. Her father, Roberto, is the one who invited him to the wedding. Sean greets Roberto, then rushes over to Darcy and hugs her tightly, saying, "I miss you so much, Dee." She responds, "My fiancé is right behind you." He says, "Sorry, I didn't see him with my glasses on." Then he takes off his glasses and says, "Wait, are you jealous?" He asks the groom. "So what do you do for a living?" The groom answers, "I'm a volunteer at the bride's father's charity." Sean laughs and says, "So basically you're unemployed." Then he adds, "You better start thinking smart and stick around me. I might help you find a job." The party finally kicks off. The bride welcomes the guests, the groom greets them, and even her ex greets them. Then, at one point, he turns to the bride and says, "Kato catch." But no one laughs except for the bride. She tells him that this is actually a curse word in Bali, explaining that they once traveled there together since Sean is originally from Bali. After the party ends, Tom starts messing with the electricity. Darcy tries to explain to him that this is their last night together before the wedding and that they should make the most of it. Just as he begins to understand, his mother walks in and tells him to come sleep next to her because it would be inappropriate for them to stay together on their last night before the wedding. She actually takes him away, and he sleeps next to her. The next day is the wedding day. The groom gets ready, and so does the bride. She wears the wedding dress that belonged to the groom's mother, the same dress she wore when she got married 20, 30, or even 40 years ago. But suddenly, the bride feels the urge to talk to Tom, so she sends him a message. Tom meets her, and Darcy admits that she's feeling nervous. Tom says, "Well, that's great." She replies, "What do you mean, great?" He says, "I thought you were going to call off the wedding." She asks, "Call off the wedding? Why?" He says, "Because the whole vibe of this wedding isn't exactly the best." She gets angry and says, "Oh really? Well, go find yourself another wedding with a better vibe then." She slaps him, takes off her engagement ring, and throws it in his face. At that exact moment, a group of armed pirates attacks the island, rounding up all the wedding guests and forcing them into the swimming pool. The pirate leader speaks up and says, "I know you're all wondering why I put you in the pool." Then he continues, "For 2 reasons. First, so you can't move easily. And second, so no one asks me if they can use the bathroom." He then laughs, saying, "Pretty clever, huh?" Meanwhile, Tom sees what's happening and rushes off to find Darcy and warn her. But when he gets to her room, she refuses to open the door. He ends up breaking it down and tells her, "Listen, you all, there are pirates outside." Darcy runs out to see for herself, and when she realizes it's true, she runs back inside in a panic. She tries to use the landline phone, but it's dead. Tom tells her they should hide by the shower. Just then, one of the pirates hears the water running and walks toward the bathroom to check it out. As soon as he steps inside, Tom attacks him with a fishing net, while Darcy sprays hairspray in his face. Unfortunately, the pirate is wearing glasses and just says, "Are you serious, lady?" He quickly ties them both up and reports back to his boss. The pirate leader then demands $30 million from Darcy's father. But Roberto refuses and says, "I'm not paying a dime until I see my daughter." At that moment, the two pirates had taken them to deliver them to the pirate leader. Darcy said to them, "I want a cigarette." They responded, "What?" She said, "Come on, guys, the bride needs a smoke, and she's desperate." So they handed her a cigarette and said, "The best cigarette for the best bride." She lit it right on the pirate's head since she had sprayed him with hairspray earlier. She and Tom were thrilled because they got rid of those two, but then they realized the disaster. They were still tied to the car and couldn't get free until the last second. Finally, Tom managed to untie them, and they jumped out. But Darcy's dress got caught in the wheel, and the car kept dragging her along. Tom pulled her hard, ripping the dress, and they both cheered. But suddenly, they came under fire, so they had to run. They only stopped when the pirate shooting at them ran out of ammo. They attacked him, but the pirate pulled out a grenade and activated it. Darcy quickly tackled him and managed to grab the grenade from him. They killed the pirate, but then realized the grenade was still live. They scrambled to find a place to throw it, and just as they found a high ledge, more pirates discovered their location and started shooting. They had no choice but to jump down. While falling, Darcy threw the grenade at the pirates, and it exploded, taking care of the problem. When they landed, they found themselves on the beach. They checked on their families and wedding guests and saw that the number of pirates wasn't too overwhelming. So, as a well-coordinated couple, they decided to take them on together. Darcy told Tom she knew the way to the kitchen because she was starving. And let's be real, when someone's hungry, they can't fight properly. After eating, Darcy searched for a knife but only found the rusty one her mother-in-law had given her. She tried cutting their restraints with it, but it didn't work. Tom, using his quick thinking, suggested they use the electric knife instead. But unfortunately, he ended up getting cut, and Darcy fainted. Outside, a female pirate heard the noise and entered the kitchen to search for them. She found Darcy passed out on the floor, but Tom suddenly attacked and managed to kill her. He searched her body and found an invitation to their own wedding. Tom and Darcy quickly left the kitchen and stumbled upon the island owners hiding in a secret spot. They hid with them, but within seconds, the pirates heard movement inside the house. This was Tom's moment to be the hero. He decided to go out and sacrifice himself so the pirates wouldn't find Darcy. The pirate leader demanded, "Where's your wife?" Tom leaned in and whispered, "Come closer." Then he suddenly shouted, "Cato, catch!" The pirate leader got furious and struck him. That's when Tom pulled out his pin and threatened Sean with it. No one understood why Tom did that, so he explained, "Cato catch is an insult in Balinese, and Sean is from Bali." That's when they realized Sean was the mastermind behind everything. Tom also revealed that he had killed a pirate and found a wedding invitation, one that had Sean's name on it. Realizing he was exposed, Sean grabbed his gun and decided to take a hostage while searching for his bride. And the hostage he took was Roberto's fiancée. Meanwhile, Darcy was crying over everything that had happened, her ruined wedding and all the chaos. But then, she snapped out of it, grabbed a weapon, and stormed upstairs. The moment she saw Tom, she pinned him down with the gun and accused him of everything. "This is all your fault. You're the one who chose this cursed island." Tom tried to calm her down, but then a pirate came in, took the weapon from her, and threw her into the swimming pool with the others. When they found out Sean had taken a hostage and was looking for Darcy, everyone was shocked. That's when the groom's father stepped up and said, "I know why he chose her." Turns out, Roberto's fiancée was Sean's partner all along. Darcy refused to let her wedding be completely ruined. "I'm finishing this wedding, no matter what." She lined up the groom's family on one side and the bride's family on the other. Even though they were all soaking wet, her father still walked her down the aisle toward Tom. When they reached the altar, her dad told Tom, Here's your drenched bride. Just dry her off, and she'll be good to go. Tom looked into Darcy's eyes and said, Let's do this. They charged at the pirate and took his grenade. Darcy activated it and warned, Anyone who comes closer, I'll blow us all up. One pirate surrendered immediately, while another ran and kept shooting at them. That's when Carol, the groom's mother, picked up a gun and shot at him until he took cover near the fireworks. Tom then tossed the grenade toward him, and it exploded. At this point, Tom and Darcy decided to go report everything to the police. They ran toward the boat, but Darcy noticed something. Tom had planned a surprise for her. They paused for a romantic moment, cuddling and kissing for a full half-hour. But then Sean showed up and opened fire again. Darcy quickly untied the boat, and they jumped in. Sean kept chasing them and managed to jump aboard. Just then, they spotted a helicopter overhead, carrying Roberto's fiancée. Sean and Tom fought intensely, throwing punches back and forth. The parachute suddenly opened, pulling them upward into the air. They continued fighting midair until Tom managed to climb down again. Darcy found the rusty knife from earlier and used it to cut the parachute's rope. Sean got caught on the helicopter, and boom! The helicopter exploded. Finally, the nightmare was over. Darcy put her ring back on and officially married Tom. And that's how the movie ends. Your opinion matters to us. Don't forget to leave it in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.